Every Call of Duty release seems to add in a burst weapon to their pool, and this year was no different. Thanks for stopping by as we tackle the ITRA Burst Assault Rifle. Welcome back to the channel. I am Deathtrap, and no matter where you're from or what position you're at in life, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. Be true, be kind, and stay on your grind. Here's to becoming a better version of ourselves as we close out the final week of 2021. We are continuing the road to atomic grind, and just recently completed the second assault rifle on our list. The ITRA Burst has only appeared in the last two World War II era titles. Modeled after the Breda PG, it originated in Italy as a semi-automatic rifle before being bought by the Costa Rican government. The Costa Rican models also included an automatic fire mode with a 4-round burst limiter, like the weapon we have here in Vanguard, which made it the world's first burst-firing automatic rifle. Now, using this weapon can be somewhat of a challenge in the early weapon level grind for core playlists, as it largely depends on how many shots you can land in its initial 4-round burst. Due to its burst, it is a very accurate rifle, but with the relatively lower base damage, you're looking at a 4 or 5 shot kill, depending on range. You can knock it down to a 3-hit kill if you can land one of the hits as a headshot. Now, landing a full burst will just absolutely decimate enemies, but if you miss even one, you're most likely going to need a second burst, and if you're at too close of a range, you're probably dead before you get that second burst off. This is why I definitely recommend it as a medium to long range weapon. Also, unless you're a god at accuracy, get in the habit of shooting an immediate second burst, just in case one of your initial bullets misses. In hardcore, it's a 1 to 2 shot kill, and the maximum damage range for the 1-shot kill is pretty generous if I'm being honest. But you will need to hit them in at least the chest to get it. Once you pass that range, you can still get a 1-hit kill if it lands as a headshot. Now, you may want to consider using this weapon as a semi-automatic here, as even at the longer ranges and needing 2 shots, half the burst is going to get wasted, which means you'll burn through your ammo quite fast. Not only that, but in my opinion, the semi-automatic just feels better. Before we get into the challenges, I wish I could say that there are barrels and magazines that increase your damage potential, but honestly, all they really do is make missing your initial burst a little more forgiving. The only real damage upgrade comes when you're able to get the vital proficiency in the later, I want to say 60s. If you do want to increase the maximum range for your 1 burst kill, the body 300mm CXII is a pretty good option here. You can also upgrade your 8mm Klausers to 32-round drum when you unlock them later on. But besides those, I personally wouldn't change your barrel and magazine too much, unless you're going for the camo challenges that require the others. Getting into the camo challenges, like for most weapons, the 400 eliminations for pack tactics, 100 headshots for surgical, and 50 multi-kills for predatory ambition should once again come with 0 issues. Once you get to level 20 and unlock the reptilian category, you can immediately start chipping your way through the 30 bloodthirsties required, as like I mentioned, there really won't be any attachments to help you out later on, unless maybe perhaps the vital proficiency. The better option here is to pick a playlist and pacing that works better for you. Now normally I'd recommend Shipment if it's in its current rotation, but given the fact that this is a medium to long range weapon, I'd recommend staying away from that map. Instead, pick some objective mode like Domination or Hardpoint on tactical pacing, and go with a more smooth and calculated approach to finish off this challenge. In hardcore playlists, I recommend doing the same thing, but you may have some luck with Shipment as well, as it'll be a little bit more forgiving with hardcore's time to kill. A couple considerations to make for this challenge are to run forward intel at perk 2, and low kill streaks like intel and spy plane to help you have a general idea of where enemies might be coming from. I recommend this as an absolute last resort, as I feel like given time you should be able to be comfortable enough eventually to streak kills, but for whatever reason, if that comfort level never comes, you can use a second primary to help you out. Simply use Overkill at perk 3 and put on a weapon with attachments that you are pretty comfortable streaking kills with and get 4 kills. Then switch back to the ITRA Burst, and you'll need to just get 1 to get your bloodthirsty. Now obviously if you die, you'll have to do that process again, but generally it will make the process much easier. There isn't a second set of long shots with later challenges, so as soon as you unlock the Deadeye challenge at weapon level 30, you can immediately start to work on those if you wish. Definitely throw on the body 300mm CXII barrel, as it will extend your maximum damage range. Now considering how accurate this weapon is, even in core, you shouldn't have too much trouble in getting long shot kills. With the extended barrel, you can theoretically kill an enemy at around 100 meters in 1 burst. Of course, as long as each bullet hits the enemy. Generally though, you'll probably need about 2 bursts to finish off an enemy, as you're most likely going to miss a bullet or 2. But the good thing is that the long shot range of roughly 38 meters, you should have more than enough time to get your second, and possibly even a third burst off, before the enemy kills you. Throw on the Focus Proficiency and Perfetto Padded Grip Stock to aid in accuracy and flinch resistance to keep your shots nice and tight, even while getting shot. I also personally use either a 2.5x or 3.5x scope for increased visibility at longer ranges, but that is strictly based on preference. and you should absolutely use what you feel is best at those ranges. This setup will also work really nice in hardcore playlists, and will make a shot landed at the upper torso or better a one-hit kill up to around 100 meters. It's up to you whether you want to go burst or semi-automatic, but I'm probably leaning towards burst at this range, just in case it requires a second shot you're not prepared for. The 100 close range kills for the Berserker challenge at level 40 will unlock quite naturally as you complete the rest of your camo grind, as we'll be going into hardcore in a small maps playlist for the challenges unlocked at 60, 65, and 70. The 250 kills with 10 attachments equipped for Wildcat is easily done as well, as long as you just remember to put on 10 attachments on your weapon. If you feel like grinding that out right now, just switch out your stock mags for the 12 round 8mm Klausers, unless you have unlocked the 32 round option, which in that case, put that one on instead. Once at weapon level 60, where the Survivalist challenge unlocks, you'll need to switch out a couple of your attachments. You'll need to put on the Imerito 180mm 02BI barrel, 8mm Klauser 12 round fast mags, and the body SSI skeletal stock, and then get 100 hipfire kills with it. As I mentioned, we'll be going into hardcore in a small maps playlist like Shipment 24/7, as this is definitely a close range build. The barrel has a decreased burst delay, which means it's going to kick like hell if you pull the trigger too fast, as it can't center quickly enough. Not to mention, having only 12 rounds means at best you'll be able to kill 3 people in optimal circumstances before reloading. Then, with having to hipfire, the deck will be stacked against you. It's much more manageable to get this out of the way in a hardcore playlist. If the barrel is still giving you problems here, something that worked surprisingly well for me was using the semi-automatic firing mode. It may sound crazy, but if you can aim your hipfire reticle decently, you can practically one-shot everything you see and just keep rolling around the map. And since it's semi-automatic, the recoil kick is very controllable. I highly recommend it. Just make sure to supplement it with other attachments that improve your hipfire accuracy and sprint to fire speed where you can. Moving right along and sticking with the hardcore small maps playlist is where we'll continue with the Mind Games challenge unlocked at 65. For this, you'll need to get 100 ADS kills with the Perfetto 140mm Rapida barrel, body SMI adjustable stock, and the Surveil proficiency. The barrel is once again used for close engagements where it can possibly be extended out to medium range. It has a bit more recoil kick than most other barrels, but not quite as much as the one we just had for our previous challenge. The stock and proficiency are there to aid in identifying and engaging enemies while aimed down the sights. You'll need to be fully aimed in to make progress in this challenge, so prioritize your remaining attachments on improving that ADS speed. This will be known by veterans for first-person shooters, but if you're rather quite newer and have issues tracking enemies while fully aimed in, definitely make sure to adjust your ADS sensitivity in the options menu. The first two options increase your overall camera sensitivity, but if you strictly want to just change it while you're aiming, it's the ADS sensitivity multiplier setting. Progress with this challenge should come rather quickly. And that brings us to our final category, where at level 70 we unlock the Death Artist challenge, which has you get 100 quickscope kills with the 6.5mm Sakura 20 round mags, body DII grip stock, and the quickscope proficiency. I'm not gonna lie, this challenge was a pain for me. I was trying to do it in a mix of both core and hardcore modes, but I was getting absolutely nowhere in core due to the magazine change that now makes the weapon need 2 bursts to kill. Then in hardcore, I initially couldn't get the quickscope timing down, which I figured out is a rather small timing window. You practically need to shoot immediately as you aim in, which does make sense given the description. I guess I was just hoping you had a little bit of leeway, but that's definitely not the case here. This is why I suggest hardcore, because even here, it's quite awkward to complete. Get in the habit of aiming in just before firing. I also didn't use this tactic, but saw it may help if you combine the recoil booster with the rapid barrel. That way, you can get off 2 bursts in the quickscope timing window in the event that you miss most of your initial burst. It's rather unlikely to happen, but it is there if you need it. Once again, stick to Shipment or whatever small maps playlist is in the current rotation, and you will be able to grind this out in a slower than normal, but still reasonable amount of time. Finishing off this last challenge will net you another golden assault rifle. If you enjoyed this road to gold featuring the ITRA Burst, please show your support by clicking the like button. I really do appreciate it. Also, let me know what your thoughts are on the weapon in the comments below. Do you feel like it's a weapon that can be used rather frequently as a main weapon? Or is it just more of a means to an end, trying to unlock the Atomic Camo? I'd very much like to hear your opinions. Thanks again for stopping by. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Catch you on the next one. Peace.